Trying to locate our team. All right, first of all, y'all's predictions for this game were about the worst I've ever seen. I read some of them in the hotel today, which y'all picked, and y'all couldn't have been more off. What a great night for our players, our coaches, our staff, our organization, our university, our state, the city of Columbia. What a night. I mean, I don't even know where to begin, but I've been saying it every week. Y'all think I'm crazy. We got a good football team, and we showed it tonight, and I get it. We played like crap last week. But one thing we talked about in our team meeting on Tuesday morning when we started this week is that good football teams have bad nights and bad stretches, and I get it. Missouri wasn't pretty, and the second half of the Vanderbilt game wasn't pretty, and last week wasn't pretty, but I told them the story back in last year. The LA Rams ended up winning the Super Bowl. Well, in mid-November, they went on like a 3-game losing streak and got the heck beat out of them by a division rival, the 49ers. And they came back and won the Super Bowl, though. In the Bucks, I think, won it in Heath, you're our Tampa guy. 2020, Heath won the Bucks won the Super Bowl. 2020, the Bucks go in mid-November and get beat by the Saints like 38-3 in November. And all the talk on the outside is Brady can't win without Belichick and this, that, and the other. And sound like Coach Spurrier there, this, that, and the other. But they didn't listen to it. They just came back and they got better. The year before that, the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs had like a 3-game losing streak. And we played some bad and coached some bad football the last couple of weeks. But this group is freaking awesome, man. They come to work every single week and just get better. And that's what we did tonight. Certainly it was clicking, and just so happy for the seniors. We had a team meeting last night, and some of the seniors spoke, and it was really cool. I mean, Eric Douglas talked about he had a dream this week. He said that we won the game, the fans stormed the field, and that's how he went out. Brad Johnson talked about he just has visions of the goalposts coming down after the game and things like that. And for those guys to not listen to anyone on the outside. We talked on Tuesday morning too, no disrespect, that you guys don't get to write the story of this football team. Like every single person in here, I think, thought they knew how this game was going to go. Every person in here thought, well, we've seen this story before, how Carolina's going to finish. And it's a new Carolina, guys. You don't get to write the story. We write the story, and that's what we talked to our team about on Tuesday morning. They write the story of how this thing's going to finish. Everybody thinks they've seen this, read this book, seen this movie. They know how the chapter ends. Well, no, you don't, because I know what that team's about in that locker room, and so proud of them and so happy for them as well. So, I don't know. I can keep going for hours. Y'all got questions?
Offense, night and day different. Was it a definite switch in what you guys wanted to do, or was it?
No, it was. We talked, David, that it's all about competition and the way Tennessee plays defense. Our receivers and tight ends are going to have one-on-one opportunities, and we felt really good about our matchups against those guys. And we have all year. It's not just Tennessee. I mean, we felt that way, and we tried to do it against Florida, and we tried to do it in other games. But Spencer had a great week of practice, and we just. We were down our top 2 running backs, if you will, and Jaheim and Juju were going to be the 2 guys, but it was certainly running the football, but it was giving our guys on the giving our guys on the outside opportunities to make plays, and that's what we kept doing, and they never stopped it. We punted one time, and that was because I had a little bit of a misread on the power read, I think, on first down and lost negative yardage, and that's the only time we punted the entire night. Hey. Keep picking us to get the brakes beat off of us. You weren't the only one, Ben. I mean, there was nobody in the entire world other than my family and the people, and I think they thought we were going to win. I'm not sure if they did or not, but other than the people in our program that thought this thing was going to be, close.
I guess when you look at tonight and what Spencer did, I mean, what can you say about his performance tonight and what you saw from him as a quarterback?
The guy that he is. I mean, 30 of 30. I didn't even realize that. 30 of 37 for 438 yards and 6 touchdowns. Oh my God, he was on. You talk about players and being in the zone. I mean, that guy was in the zone tonight. Sapp was in the zone with the way he was calling stuff. I mean, our whole mindset going into this game, Ben, was attack. You weren't gonna win this football game punting on fourth down and not being aggressive. And the way that we coached the game offensively, the way we coached the game special teams wise, the calls that Clayton made was not sitting back and being passive. Like, we wanted to dictate to them how this game was going to go. And Spencer did. He was aggressive, throwing the ball down the field. And then, just defensively as well. Obviously, losing Nicky Memori was a huge loss earlier in the game. But how about Peyton Williams? I mean, we're sitting here trying to redshirt the kid and hadn't even played much this year. And then he goes in an environment like that and plays his rear end off. So proud of him.
Coach, talk about aggression. I mean, you guys went for it early on your side of the field on a fourth down. 12 different guys have a catch tonight. I mean, did you just go in saying basically got to let it all hang out because of how this team plays? Is that why it looks so different? Yeah,
we always want to be aggressive, Heath. I told the team last night, and no disrespect to any other program that Tennessee has played, but in Tennessee's game last week, their opponent punted 5 times on 4th and 5 or less. And granted, they were in minus territory, and again, I'm not questioning anybody, but I just told our team last night, like, I ain't punting 5 times tomorrow night on 4th and 5 or less. I'm just letting you guys know. And we talked all week about just having each other's back. And, hey, if we go for it or we fake a punt or whatever and we don't get it, defense, you got to have our back. And offense, you got to keep your butt on the field. Like, we can't allow our defense to be out there all night. Like, you got to have their back. And special teams, the way that we control field position. But we wanted to be aggressive, without a doubt. And the word we've used all week is just attack. I mean, every single day, that's just what we talk to our players about: attack, attack, attack. They're a phenomenal football team. I mean, that's hard to stop. And with our depth issues on defense, we didn't need to be out there, more than 80 plays, and it looks like they played 78. I mean, our thought process was we got to be aggressive to stay on the field also.
Shane, your first field storming as a head coach, what was that moment like when you see the fans coming down from the cockpit and all? And, is there a moment from that stands out to you?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, just so happy for our fans that were there tonight. My youngest daughter, Olivia, she told me today that all she wanted was to storm the field. And don't think I forgot Olivia. She told me that would suffice as her Christmas present as well. So if we could just have a court storming tonight, or a field storming tonight, sweetie. So we got you one. Santa will certainly bring y'all something, but it looks like Mommy and I are out of the presents. So, I've got the text message saved. But no, it was awesome. And we were just talking in the locker room. I mean, that was a lot of years of our fan base waiting to get to do that. And not just since I've been here, the previous couple years before I got here and whatever else. And I told Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler yesterday in our production meeting, the last time I was in this stadium and they were in this stadium and we were all here at the same time was 2010 when we beat Alabama, and they were number 1 in the country. And it was pretty cool to be a part of it that day, and it was really, 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 really special to be a part of it tonight. And we got some awesome recruits that are in that locker room right now celebrating us with us as well. And as we continue to build this program and continue to add great players and people to this program, we're going to have a lot of nights like that in Columbia.
Right.
Oh, sorry, Hill.
I know this doesn't pertain to you, but I did pick y'all to cover. So
did you?
For the record.
All right. I think Mike Yuba did too. I don't think Mike's in here. I think Mike did as well.
Okay.
But I read some of the predictions. I'm like, God Almighty, guys, we're not that bad,
You mentioned Sat a little earlier. Can you just kind of speak to how he did tonight and I guess in the week leading up to tonight with the game plan?
Yeah, he was amazing, and the players. I mean, Eric Douglas just came to me in the locker room and said, we need to give Sat a game ball. And Eric actually got up in there and talked about what an amazing job Sat did tonight. And not just tonight, but throughout the week as well. And I get it. I mean, it's what you sign up for. When you're the head coach, when you're the offensive coordinator, when you're the quarterback, when things don't go well, we're the 3 people that get the most blame. And don't get me wrong, a lot of it was warranted. We scored 0 points offensively last week against Florida, and we didn't look pretty against Missouri. But to be without Marshawn and CBS tonight, and to do what we did offensively, it's I know I keep saying this, but we've been close, and it hasn't been good enough. I'll be the first to admit that, but really proud of him and the week that he had, and just going to work and getting better. So pretty special night for him, for a guy that is from East Tennessee and was a graduate assistant there as well. That they did what now?
I don't think the fireworks went off in your last touchdown. I think they might have.
They ran out. Yeah. That's a good problem when you when you run out of fireworks. That is certainly a good thing. If they've seen us play offense, they didn't have a big supply tonight. Probably, Colin. Like, they probably thought they were good for for tonight for sure.
And I guess Juice had a really good day.
Yeah.
Got some big third down conversions there. Just what did you see from him during the week, and how big was that performance?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just seeing these stats. 11 catches for 177 yards. He was awesome. He really was. I mean, the kid's such a weapon. Happy for Josh Vann to score 2 touchdowns in his last home game here. Jalen Brooks scoring a touchdown. Jaheim scoring twice. I mean, awesome job by those guys. But no, Juice is a problem for people, and we've got a lot of receivers that can be issues for opposing defenses, and Juice was certainly one of those guys. Tonight.
You're obviously feeling good coming into this, and your offense was scoring possession after possession. But was there a point in this game where you felt like this was just going to be y'all's night, that this was going to be special?
I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but before the game, I mean, we had a great week of practice, and they're a phenomenal team. They're ranked, what are they, 5th in the country or whatever they were, for a reason. I mean, they're really, really, really good. But Columbia, South Carolina, and Williams-Brice Stadium at night, is a challenge for any opponent. And I knew what kind of team we had. I know the week of practice that we had. Starting Sunday night when we were out on the field, and just the way that the guys worked throughout the week. I mean, I'm not saying that I thought we were going to score 63 points and beat Tennessee by 25, but I felt really good, about things. And as far as a moment, obviously, when Hendon, and I hope he's okay health-wise, what a great young man and everything that's right about college football he is. But when he fumbled and we got the ball right there, you felt pretty good about our chances of hanging on. But I felt really confident. I mean, we weren't shocked by what happened in the first half, in other words. I mean, nobody went into the locker room at halftime saying, oh my gosh, like, look what we just did. I mean, it's what we expected to do. We really did.
Shane, how much of a factor do you think your crowd was throughout the game on what they were trying to do when they were on offense?
I think it was an issue. I mean, they were trying to do a lot of check-in at the line of scrimmage, and it makes communication tough for them. I don't know, they didn't have the false starts that A&M had, but I certainly think it was a challenge. I mean, it was loud down there, Gene, and our crowd was certainly continued to just gain energy, throughout the week or throughout the game.
And the same way then, are you confident that you guys can play well against a good, healthy team before a large crowd on the road?
Are you referring to next week?
Yeah.
Yes, I am. And obviously that's going to be a really big challenge. They've got a phenomenal team. They got a phenomenal defense. They've got a phenomenal front seven. We know that, but we've certainly we didn't do it last week. But I feel like Kentucky. I mean, Kentucky it may not have been 100,000 people in there, but Kentucky was not an easy environment to be a part of, and we played pretty dang good up there that night.
Shane, you briefly mentioned Josh Vann. How happy are you for him? I know you talked about him this week. He made the decision to come back. He's been a great team player, sacrificed for the benefit of the team, and then to have this kind of performance on senior night.
Yeah, he deserves it. Just so happy for all those seniors, Rick, but Josh especially, to catch 2 balls and score 2 touchdowns tonight. I told him that when he was coming off the field. I think the first one I hugged him and just told him how happy I was for him and so proud of him. And he's a great young man. He's matured so much since I got here as the head coach, and he's a special young man. I'm really happy for him.
Just wondering who pays the $25,000 fine to the SEC, you or Coach Tanner?
Coach Tanner.
Coach Tanner.
Coach Tanner. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Yeah, exactly.
A more serious note, I mean, the up and down nature of your season and your offense, I mean, Cap, tonight, how do you build on that with 2 games to go and kind of show that, this is what the offense is really all about on a week-by-week basis?
Yeah, just build on what we did. And after a loss, Phil, there's you guys hear me say it, I mean, there's good that comes out of losses that we learn from and build on. There's negatives that comes out of wins that we have to correct and continue to build on. And obviously I hate that it took till game 11 for us to explode like we did tonight, but I think our guys saw what we can be. And it's certainly going to be a challenge. I mean, we're pretty high right now with what we're doing. We got to go right back to work tomorrow, and there'll be negatives from this game. There'll be positives from this game, and then we've got to get a lot better before next week at Clemson. But we had a bad stretch, and I know when we won 4 in a row and we're ranked 25th in the country, we weren't exactly just going up and down the field on people from a offensive standpoint, but we were winning football games, and it wasn't always pretty. But it came together tonight, and I think the other thing is I don't think we had a single turnover, correct? Well, there you go. I think we're still undefeated when we win the turnover battle. And to not have a turnover against these guys, because they were right at the top of the SEC in turnover margin, when we protect the football and we run the ball and all that, we're going to be successful. And we haven't done a good enough job of protecting the ball offensively, that's for sure.
Coach, to carry on with a couple touchdowns tonight. He's been the epitome of a team player for you. What can you say about him in his performance today?
Fantastic. Same thing like Rick just said about Josh. I feel the same way about DK. For him to come in and score 2 touchdowns, play quarterback. I'm sure y'all notice when he scores the touchdowns, he goes right out there on the kickoff team and he covers the kickoff. He's playing on all of our special teams. He's awesome. And told him the same thing, man. Told him I loved him, so proud of him, and so happy for him. And I am. I mean, I'm genuinely just really, really happy for these older guys because they've been through a lot. And this senior class, none of them came here to play for me unless they transferred in. But not only did they stay the first year when they could have left and lead us to a bowl game last season, they doubled down and they came back and said, we believe in what essentially you're doing and we want to continue to be a part of it. And I can still remember Eric Douglas and Javon Gwynn and Wanham and those guys sitting in my office when they told me they were coming back for another year. And they all told me, we have higher goals than just winning 6 regular season games. And there's more out there for us to do. And for them to come back and be so committed and do what they just did with a lot more for us to still do. Really happy for those guys, especially DK. And I told a lot of those guys, too, now they're not all super seniors. So some of those seniors that got announced tonight got another year. And told a bunch of them they better get their butts back here next year, too, and let's do it again.
Can you talk about Jaheim's performance? You needed a running back. He had 17 carries for 82 yards to go along with all of his catches.
Yeah, the kid's a football player. He is. I mean, he's just a football player. And Jaheim's the kind of guy you can put him anywhere, and he's going to go perform. So to catch 5 balls, to carry the ball 17 times and look good doing it, we weren't force-feeding a tight end, forcing him to be a running back. He's a really talented football player that can do good things when the ball's in his hands.
You mentioned Alabama 2010, the recruits here tonight, all of that. Can you put context to what a win like this does for a program when you're trying to build? Can you even big picture it just this soon coming off the field?
I think it's just a statement of what this place can be. And based on the smiles of a lot of those recruits in that locker room, they understand, for sure. Got something special going on here. We really do. And to do it tonight without guys that at the beginning of the season we were all counting on being starters, whether it be going back to Mo Kaba and Jordan Strom and they got hurt against Arkansas, or CBS and Marshawn not playing tonight, or Nick Eamon-Warrior getting knocked out, or Eric Douglas goes out with an injury and Hank Manos, a senior, comes in and does a great job to lead us to a touchdown. I mean, there's just so many stories like that. I'm just so proud of all these kids. And it is a statement that, look what we just did, and we're nowhere near where we're going to be as we continue to get this program better and better.
Last
Anybody else? All right. Yeah, I was worried about them because I couldn't find my kids. They're somewhere out there on the field, so we were trying to find them. But that's what it's about. You know, everybody's a part of this thing, and they make a lot of sacrifices. She does, and I'm sorry, she does, and our kids to allow me to do what I love to do. And she makes a lot of sacrifices. But they're also the ones that, you know, we lose a game and we stink it up like we did last week. I get to go back to work. I can isolate myself in the facility. I can stay off Twitter, and I can kind of just be in the bunker. They're the ones that are out in the community, and they're the ones, not just me, but all the assistant coaches' wives and kids. They're the ones that are in the community. They're the ones that are in schools and are going to school during the week and things like that. So for them to be able to they're a part of this, and to share in it after a big win like tonight is pretty dang special. Yep, and it was also my mom's my mom's birthday a couple days ago. So this is one hell of a birthday present for sure, and happy for her and as well. So I'm blessed in so many ways. Thank you guys.